Stu, I think hopefully a fairly interesting Conveyancing Matters Q&A. Indemnity insurance. Lack of planning, lack of building regs. Is it available? Now, the reason I ask that, of course, we all know it is.
Yeah.
But when the enforcement period for planning, lack of planning was 4 years and lack of building regs was 1 year, we asked for it all the time. We asked for it sort of willy-nilly. And, of course, you'll remember we did have a chat with an indemnity insurer, sort of when the planning and building regs enforcement periods were going up to 10 years. And that indemnity insurer said, well, actually, we've baked in the risk to our costings. We don't really think the risk is going to be very high because local authorities haven't got any money to take enforcement proceedings, which I thought was a really interesting
fair point.
perspective.
Yeah, definitely.
But what I wanted to ask you as a coalface practitioner with all of your colleagues, Stu, is now that the planning and building regs enforcement has gone up to 10 years, has it had a material difference on the availability of indemnity insurance for lack of planning and lack of building regs? And or in your perception, has it increased the cost?
No, so the magic wand that is indemnity insurance that sorts absolutely everything out with the property that could be wrong, of course. No, we haven't seen that here. I think the indemnity insurers, as you say, have built in or have had no choice but to build this into their pricing structure. So it may be too early to say, of course. But at the moment, no, there seems to be no change. So it's as you were, so to speak. Not particularly seeing any change in special conditions. Hopefully everybody actually reads the special conditions to find out whether what they're obtaining will actually cover the issue that you have. Or is that a bit simple? I don't know. But
well, that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, Stu, but would you we would often see getting an indemnity insurance policy for lack of planning and lack of building regs as, bit of a fall off a job, maybe even get a self-issue policy or equivalent. But particularly if now you've got a property where the 10-year enforcement period is still live.
Yeah.
So would you now get a bespoke policy? Would you report that to the indemnity insurer and say, to Acacia Avenue, work was done 5 years ago. We're still in the enforcement period. This is the work. Can we have a policy, please?
I certainly would, yes.
CCS.
I certainly would, yes. Because I think some of the policies that I have seen, not mention any names either, they are generic.
Yeah.
And you've always got to check that what you're getting is suitable for your client's needs. And sometimes without asking those questions, it might not be. So the answer is yes.
So really then the learning point for our conveyancer colleagues watching this is if you now have a property where we are with it still purchasing within that 10-year enforcement period, whether it's planning or building regs, make a full report to the indemnity insurer and effectively get a bespoke quote.
Absolutely. And of course, report to your client, making sure that what you are getting and the questions you're asking, is okay via them.
Yeah, well, of course, it's the age-old cliche, isn't it? That, of course, the client thinks the policy is going to cover the cost of the work.
Yes.
And clients need to understand that that's absolutely not the case.
Not the case, exactly. So that your report to a client on indemnity insurance is really, really important because, of course, they're relying, you're making a representation to them that they're going to actually, be okay, and therefore they go ahead on that basis.
Excellent. Well, thanks for that, Stu, because that question's been vexing me, I have to say. So it's get a bespoke policy.
Definitely, I think so.
Thanks.